presentation of the Bulldog Sports Network.
You can wrap it in maroon and white.
Live from News Park in Starkville, this is Mississippi State Softball. Mississippi State Softball is sponsored by C-Spire, customer inspired. First pitch is just moments away. Now let's go live to the broadcast booth for Mississippi State Softball.
Good afternoon, and welcome into the Bulldog Student Sports Network on Learfield. I'm Ty Goldman alongside you live here at News Park on the beautiful campus of Mississippi State University in Starkville, Mississippi for Game 1 of this 3-game set between the number 23 Gamecocks of South Carolina and your number 12 Bulldogs of Mississippi State. Mississippi State coming into this ball game 30-6, a win against UT Martin in the midweek in a Peja Gould no-hitter. Bulldogs dominated in that one. State, though, 2-4 in Southeastern Conference play. Looking at South Carolina, number 23 in the country, as I mentioned, 21-13 overall, 1-5 in Southeastern Conference play. They've been swept by Texas, lost last week 2 out of 3 to the Fighting Tigers of LSU, and coming off a Wednesday midweek loss to their rivals in the Palmetto Series in Clemson, 8-0. So both teams looking for their first Southeastern Conference win. Some series history between these two teams. Relatively close series. Mississippi State leads the all-time series, 37-35. Bulldogs are 17-13 all-time at home versus South Carolina. The last series between these teams came in April of 2024, and that was Mississippi State taking 2 out of 3. In the last matchup in total between these two teams came 2 years ago in May of 2024 in the Southeastern Conference Tournament, and the Gamecocks came away victorious in that one 8-4. So again, Bulldogs 30-6, 2-4 in the Southeastern Conference. South Carolina 21-13, 1-5 in the Southeastern Conference. Both teams looking for their first SEC series win in the top 25 battle here in Starkville this weekend. South Carolina, as I mentioned, coming off a blowout loss to Clemson, where they only had 4 hits in the ballgame. Clemson had 13 hits in that one and had a great pitching performance as well. South Carolina's lineup could not get going in that one. Looking at their lineup through SEC play, hasn't been the best, but some have shined. Some players like Tori Inslee, Ariana Rhodey, Carly Shelton, and Quincy Lelio have been really, really good. Their average is near or above the 300 mark through SEC play. So it's kind of a top-heavy order. Those 4 right there. We'll see how they fare against Mississippi State's fantastic pitching staff this weekend. South Carolina, defensively, 11th in the Southeastern Conference in fielding percentage. It's around .970. It made an error on Wednesday as well, so not as clean as Mississippi State. Granted, not a lot of teams are. State, the best fielding percentage in the entire country, but 11th in the Southeastern Conference in fielding percentage, so that kind of gives you an idea of, South Carolina has made a couple of errors this season, especially in big-time games. Gamecocks, especially 2 in big-time games. Only 1 ranked win so far this season. They've played multiple. They have one of the toughest schedules in the entire country. In fact, the second toughest, with their opponents winning 70% of their ball games so far this season. So they have faced a really tough group of teams. Only 1 ranked win to show for it. Have struggled against ranked teams. And for Mississippi State, you hope that happens this weekend. Looking at the pitching staff for Carolina, around the middle of the pack in our league. 2.97 team RA, which, being around the middle of the pack in our league, is still in the top 25 in the nation. They're in the top 25 in the nation in multiple pitching categories, but a 2.97 team RA. One to watch for this series out of that bullpen for the Gamecocks going to be Jory Hurd. A 1.46 ERA, that's good enough for 9th in the Southeastern Conference and 1st for South Carolina. And, she's been great all season, but has struggled, though, as we've gotten in the Southeastern Conference play. 0-2 in her 2 conference starts, separate starts against Texas earlier and against LSU last weekend. So there's a little bit on South Carolina. Again, their head coach, or I didn't mention it, but their head coach, Ashley Chastain Woodard, a head coach that last year put the Gamecocks in her first season, a 44-17 overall record. It was fantastic last year. Number 8 national seed, hosted their own regional, hosted a super regional for the first time in program history. She was named the D1 softball coach of the year last year, and in her second year got the Gamecocks ranked and coming into Starkville this weekend. Looking at State, talked about this with Coach Samantha Ricketts, and we'll get to that in just a moment with the interview I had with her a little while back. But State has got to improve with runners in scoring position in conference play. Just hasn't been the case for State to be successful runners in scoring position through the first 2 series for Mississippi State. State's average at 167 with runners in scoring position. Bulldogs are a total of 5 for 30 when they've had opportunities with runners in scoring position. But we look at defense. Struggled last weekend, 5 errors against Georgia, but they've been great all season, and they got back to that in the midweek. No errors, obviously helped with the Peja Gould no-hitter, but we got to get back to what we do. We did that in the midweek. Try and keep that up today and through this series by limiting those mistakes. Pitching staff continue to fill up the zone. It's one of the best in the nation. We've seen it all season. Continue to fill up the zone and let your stuff shine. It's happened all year. It's just been a really, really impressive performance from Mississippi State's pitching staff all season. 11 walks through 2 SEC series so far, 6 against Tennessee, 5 against Georgia. Improvement you see there. Continue to limit those freebies. We're going to get you the interview with your head coach and Samantha Ricketts and take a break and be back in just a moment for the start of the ball game. National anthem here at Noose Park. I'm Tad Goldman, and you're listening to Mississippi State Softball on the Bulldog Student Sports Network in Learfield. I'm here with your Bulldog head coach, Samantha Ricketts. Coach, listen, it just to start off with the offense, and again, also you get another opportunity this weekend, try and win your first SEC series. Start off with the offense. You know, you struggle with runners in scoring position at least throughout the first couple of series, right? Did better on Wednesday and had a really good bright side, and you know, I think had 4 hits with runners in scoring position on Wednesday in the win over UT Martin. What's it take to get better? You know, progressively get better this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, hitting's contagious. That's something that we know is going to go up and down, and you have to make sure that you're just pitching well and playing good defense and giving yourself a chance at a timely hit. But, you know, if we can kind of get the top of our order rolling, which we felt good about on Wednesday, I think that can be a good sign for the weekend. And we've got a lot of good bats. Just trying to be a little bit more aggressive in hitter counts and situations where we've got runners in scoring position and be a little bit more on the attack is the goal for this weekend.
So you've had, you know, defense, you know, I won't mention it too much, struggled a little bit last weekend, but hey, you go into Wednesday, much improvement. And obviously it was great having Peja Gould have the no-hitter. That makes things easier. But what's it take again this weekend to keep that mindset going? You improved in the midweek. Now you want to try and carry that. What was the message to your defense coming into this week?
I mean, we're not worried about what happened last weekend. We can't control that game or those errors. It's about what can we do right now, and that's play Mississippi State softball, and that's, you know, make the routine plays and give ourselves a chance at the big Sports Center type plays. And I think we know the talent and the athletes we have out there capable to make those types of plays.
Every time I talk to you, I'm always going to talk about the pitching staff, and you know, why not? Because they're one of the best in the country. You know, Peja, Alyssa, Layla, been fantastic all year. Done a good job in SEC play too of limiting freebies and not giving up very many walks and hit by pitches. What's the key for those 3 this weekend to be able to continue to fill up the strike zone like they've done all season, really?
Yeah, I think that's just a big, you know, shout out to the command and the work they do in the bullpen with Coach T, and just knowing that the odds, you know, are really in their favor once they get ahead in a count against any hitter. So just continuing to trust their stuff and being confident in all the pitches that they're throwing, and then knowing that once they get ahead, they can expand and they're going to trust their catchers behind the plate if they're putting a ball in dirt or whatever it might be.
Thank you very much, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Trey Willis, shortstop.
Marshall Jones, first baseman.
Alex Philbin, center fielder. Hi, I'm Tim from C Spire. Am I in the right place?
It always pays to have the right players on your team. That's why C Spire gives you fiber-fast home internet, nationwide 5G wireless, and best-in-class business solutions, all backed by local 24/7 support. C Spire, customer inspired.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just non-stop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Ah, crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
Jake Mangum here. When I'm at the plate, I'm always looking for an edge. So when I'm shopping for auto insurance, I'm always looking to save. That's why I'm going with Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance to keep me covered. They're always finding ways to save you money, like a 7% discount when you sign up for paperless billing and documents. Go to msfbins.com and discover how much you can save on auto insurance, or find a local agent and get started today. Go with the home team. Go with Farm Bureau Insurance.
Bulldog fans, are you looking for the perfect weekend getaway? Look no further. Pearl River Resort in Choctaw, Mississippi offers the experience of a lifetime. World-class entertainment, unique shopping, and the ultimate in fine dining. And if that's not enough, hit the links at the world-renowned Azaleas and Oaks courses at Dancing Rabbit Golf Club and complete your stay in luxurious relaxation at the spa. Your exhilarating weekend awaits only at Pearl River Resort, where you'll be at the center of it all. Must be 21 or older.
Welcome back into the Bulldog Student Sports Network here on Learfield. I'm Ty Goldman alongside you at Noose Park for Mississippi State and South Carolina. These two top 25 teams just about set to do battle today in our Think Pink game. Today's Think Pink game versus South Carolina is presented by Baptist Memorial Hospital, Oktibbeha County, the official women's health care provider of Mississippi State Athletics. Our starting lineups now here in Starkville. We'll start with the visiting Gamecocks of South Carolina, 21-13, number 23 in the country, and 1-5 in Southeastern Conference play. Leading off in left field, going to be the freshman in Quincy Lelio, 410 average, best in the order for the Gamecocks. Batting second, and at second base, going to be the junior Carly Shelton, a 398 average on the year. Batting third in center field, going to be the junior Tori Inslee, 361 average. Batting in the cleanup spot over at first base, Ariana Rohde, 264 average on the season and an average near 300 in SEC play. Batting fifth and in right field going to be the senior transfer from Ole Miss in Jamie McKay, 234 average on the year. Batting sixth and behind the plate going to be the senior Lexi Winters, a 272 average on the season. Batting seventh over at the hot corner at third base, going to be the sophomore and Tate Davis. Her average over 300 has started now in every single ball game for South Carolina this year. Batting eighth, the designated player, going to be the junior Alyssa Hovermail, 326 average on the year. And rounding out the order, going to be the shortstop, sophomore in Shay Anderson with an average a point under 300 at 299. Starting pitcher for South Carolina going to be the junior righty in Emma Friedel, 3.85 ERA on the year. To be her 22nd appearance and ninth game started on the season, and has gone 47 of the third innings pitched so far. Get you more info on her when State bats in the bottom of the first. For Mississippi State, 30-6 and 2-4 in the Southeastern Conference, leading off and batting in obviously batting in the one spot, like I said, but over in right field today, going to be the senior, 408 average, and Kiara Sells, batting second. And at shortstop, the sophomore Morgan Stiles with a 351 average on the year, batting third over at the hot corner at third base, going to be the senior in Nadia Barmry, 339 average on the season. Batting in the cleanup spot behind the plate as well, going to be the senior transfer in Des Rivera, a 286 average on the season. Batting fifth and in the designated player spot, the freshman, redshirt freshman that is, Taylor Troutman, 316 average on the year, and has had come up big in a home game here against SEC foes. Had that walk-off home run in Game 2 against Tennessee. See if she can do it this weekend. Batting sixth and in left field going to be the senior Morgan Bernardini with a 273 average. Batting seventh And in center field, going to be the junior transfer from Utah State in Tatum Silva, a .297 average on the season. Batting 8th and over at second base today. Starting is going to be the freshman Gabby Schaefer with a .292 season average. And batting 9th, going to be at first base, the senior Abby Grace Richardson from Brookhaven, Mississippi, with a .236 average on the year. And your starting pitcher for today's ball game going to be the junior lefty out of Northport, Alabama, and a transfer from Troy. It will be Alyssa Faircloth. This season, a 1.45 ERA, 9-2 on the season. Will be her 22nd appearance and 13th start. 7 complete games so far this year, 87 innings thrown, 48 hits, 21 runs, 18 of them earned, 20 walks, 152 strikeouts, which is third in the nation, first in the SEC and on the team, and batters with a 160 average against her. Her last start came in Game 2 versus Georgia, went a complete game, 7 innings against the Bulldogs in that one. 5 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, 11 strikeouts, 107 pitches, and was phenomenal in Mississippi State's Game 2 win over Georgia last weekend. And so she will get the start in the circle for today's ball game. Your umpires at behind the home plate going to be Tatum Stolting. At first base going to be Alex Leap, and manning second and third going to be Scott Mayer. So there's your starting lineups and your umpires for today's ball game. Again, Game 1 between Mississippi State and South Carolina. Both teams looking for their first conference win, conference series win this season. Appreciate you tuning in here on the Bulldog Student Sports Network again, as well as on Learfield and HailState.com and the Hail State app. I'm Ty Goldman with you. Glad to be here for this 3-game series between Mississippi State and a beautiful day in Starkville. Bulldogs in all maroon with white trim, white script state across the front, and white numerals. South Carolina in their white pins with Gamecocks across the front in script in garnet and also garnet numerals. Quincy Lelio will stand in the left-handed batter's box, and Faircloth will deliver the first pitch. First pitch misses inside, and first pitch here in Starkville, 2:02 p.m. Central Time on the campus of Mississippi State University. Lelio, a .410 average on the year. And this one catches his own. The count now 1-1. Lelio, a redshirt senior transfer from Oklahoma, was with South Carolina, though, last year. She sends one through the right side and into right field for a leadoff single. And the Gamecocks with a leadoff runner aboard here in the top half of the first. Carly Shelton now going to step in. Excuse me there. Thought I had the mute on, but tried to cough there. My apologies. First pitch to her, a strike. Shelton, .398 average, and this one just misses. Evens the count up at 1-1. From the state of South Carolina, junior out of Lexington. In SEC play so far, .381 batting average. She sends one foul down the first base line, and a 1-2 count now on the 2-hole hitter for the Gamecocks. .410 batting average. Looking at Lelio's statistics. 32 RBIs on the year, though, for Shelton. Leads all Gamecocks in the order. Last weekend, 4 for 12 against LSU in that 3-game set. The 1-2 just misses, and now it evens the count up, now 2-2. Lelio with a leadoff single. Bulldogs trying to retire Shelton here. The 2-2, all speed in there, called strike 3. And Shelton had no doubt about it. Went straight back to the dugout. There's the first strikeout of the ball game for the Southeastern Conference's strikeout leader. Now Tori Inslee will stand in. Inslee, a junior. She sends this one in the left. Bernardini giving chase at the warning track, makes the grab for out number 2. There's now 2 outs after the leadoff single. Inslee retired on 1 pitch. And the Bulldogs just 1 out away from getting to their home half of the first. Ariana Rohde now going to stand in. Rohde, last year at South Carolina, was at Charlotte before for 2 years, but a Rawlings Gold Glove winner last year at Carolina. Swings and misses for strike 1. It was the first time that a Gamecock player had received a Rawlings Gold Glove award in program history. The 0-1 tour. This one misses low, appeal down, and they say she went around, so there's strike 2. So after surrendering the leadoff single, Faircloth trying to go 1-2-3 after that. Looking for a second strikeout of the ball game. Here's the 0-2. Misses outside. Lelio's still over there at first. 2 stolen bags on the year. The 1-2. Fouled back to the screen, and we'll do it again. Beautiful day here in Starkville. Good crowd on hand. Not a cloud in the sky. It's a little chilly today, too. The 1-2 to Rohde. Swing and a miss, strike 3. There's the second strikeout of the inning for Alyssa Faircloth after the leadoff single, able to retire the next 3 in order. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base for South Carolina in the top half of the first inning. And the Bulldogs will have up 1, 2, and 3 in Kiara Sells, Morgan Stiles, and Nadia Barbary when we get back here in Starkville. Scoreless through the top half of the first. We move to the bottom half of the first between number 12 Mississippi State and number 23 South Carolina. Back in just a moment for more Bulldog softball on the Bulldog Student Sports Network and Learfield.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Ah, crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
Bulldog fans, are you looking for the perfect weekend getaway? Look no further. Pearl River Resort in Choctaw, Mississippi offers the experience of a lifetime. World-class entertainment, unique shopping, and the ultimate in fine dining. And if that's not enough, hit the links at the world-renowned Azaleas and Oaks courses at Dancing Rabbit Golf Club and complete your stay in luxurious relaxation at the spa. Your exhilarating weekend awaits only at Pearl River Resort, where you'll be at the center of it all. Must be 21 or older.
Welcome back into the Bulldog Student Sports Network. I'm Ty Goldman alongside you. We head to the bottom half of the first inning. Bulldogs and Gamecocks tied at 0. Leadoff hitter going to be Kiara Sells, and she'll face the junior righty out of Fayetteville, Georgia, in Emma Friedel. Led the Owls last year in nearly every pitching category and transfer from Kennesaw State. Failed to mention that, so my apologies. But transfer from Kennesaw State this year, a 3.85 ERA. 22nd appearance now, 9th game started. First pitch to Sells, going to catch the outer half for strike 1. 8-3 record on the year. 26 earned runs, 55 strikeouts. The 0-1 to Sells, misses outside for ball 1. Opponents batting .219 off of her. Pitched in Game 1 and Game 2 against LSU last weekend. Started in Game 1, had a no decision. It went 2 innings, gave up 3 hits and 3 runs. This one catches the outer half. Count now 1-2 on Sells. Had 3 walks, no strikeouts as well, and then came in Game 2 in relief. Pitched 2 1/3, 3 hits, 3 earned runs. a walk, and 2 Ks. The 1-2 to Sells. Misses low for ball 2. Sells been really solid and, now moving up into that leadoff spot. 4.08 average on the season, 40 hits, 28 RBIs. The 2-2. Sent out to right, tailing and foul over towards the fence, and it gets into the Gamecock bullpen. But Sells on a 5-game reach base streak right now. Leads the team with that 4.08 batting average and with those 40 hits. Leads the team in a lot of different offensive categories. She swings and misses for strike 3. The leadoff hitter for Mississippi State is retired. First strike of the ball game for Friedel. And now Morgan Stiles will stand in. Stiles, 351 batting average. 10 multi-hit games. The 0-0 tour. Misses outside for ball 1. Those, has 10 multi-hit games this year. Already matching the total she had last year. So still looking to add more onto that. 20 total in her career here at Mississippi State in her sophomore season. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Friedel looking good right now. A lot of confidence in the circle. Last weekend against Georgia went 4 for 11 in that 3-game set. This one catches the outer half. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. 4 for 11. Had 3 RBIs. Scored a run. Also reached on a walk as well. Had a really solid series. The 1-2. Low, ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out in the bottom half of the first inning. Bulldogs and Gamecocks looking for their first respective SEC series win. State looking to win game 1 for the first time this season in an SEC series. And the 2-2 misses high. Now the count runs full. Stiles in SEC play, 250 batting average. 4 hits last weekend. Only 1 in the series against Tennessee to start the SEC slate. She's able to look at ball 4, trots down to first base for her 19th walk of the year, increasing that on-base percentage, and that'll bring up Nadia Barbary. Barbary, a senior out of Douglasville, Georgia, plays a great third base. SEC all-defensive team last year and second team all-SEC. The 0-0 tour. Fouled back to the netting for strike 1. So aggressive out of the gates there for Barbary. You look at Friedel last year at Kennesaw State, like I said, led the Owls in nearly every pitching category last year. Had a 3.42 ERA. Right now, a 3.85 ERA with Carolina. Had 7 wins. 127 innings pitched. Barbary sends a blooper into shallow right, and it gets down. Able to reach first. Stiles into second safely. Carolina able to corral it out there and station to station for State. But a 1-out single, and the Bulldogs now have a runner in scoring position for Des Rivera. Rivera in SEC play so far, a 176 batting average, only 1 RBI, chance for 1 here. 241 this season with runners in scoring position. The catcher transfer from Oregon State, also played at Iowa. Before playing with the Beavers, reached the Women's College World Series with Oregon State out of Corvallis, Oregon. First pitch missed for ball 1. Taylor Troutman waiting in the on-deck circle. Here's a 1-0. Popped high and out of play. Just over my head in the press box here at News Park. Wind blowing in. Wind was, gusting between 20, 30 miles an hour last night in Starkville. It was a big issue in that Mississippi State Ole Miss baseball game last night. The 1-1 fouled back to the netting for strike 2. Bulldogs won that game 1 last night over Ole Miss. So trying to do that, win again today, and win the series against the Rebels for the 10th time out of the last 11 tries. But wind blowing in heavy from center. Has been gusting all day today and was late last night. The 1-2 to Rivera. Grounded up the middle. Nice play, though, from Friedel. Throw over to second in time. Throw to first. Not in time, so they make the force out with Barbary at second base. Nice snag from Friedel inside the circle, and there's 2 gone now in the inning, but Bulldogs have runners at the corners. So now Taylor Troutman will stand in. Troutman was a hero in Game 2 against Tennessee here in Starkville with that walk-off home run. Redshirt freshman season. Time called from Friedel in the circle. The pitch clock was running a little low. So Styles now at third, Rivera at first. The 0-0 to Troutman. Misses outside for ball 1. Troutman a 381 on base percentage. 381 on base percentage, 316 average. 238 with runners in scoring position this season. This one misses high, 2-0 now. The Bulldogs, that was something that State's wanted to improve on. Talked about that with Coach Ricketts in the pregame interview. Bulldogs 5 for 30 coming into this game with runners in scoring position, a 167 average as a team. The 2-0, swing and a miss. Big wave at that one, unable to connect. Count now 2-1. Troutman, like I said, redshirt freshman, a torn ACL last year. Battled back, been a great bat for Mississippi State. The 2-1. This is low and outside for ball 3. As a walk here would load the bases for the senior in Morgan Bernardini. 2 outs in the inning, still scoreless at 0. Here's a 3-1. Swung on, sitting to left center. Don't think it's going to get down, and it will not. Lelio makes a grab out there and left for out number 3. Bulldogs leave a couple stranded. No runs on 1 hit, no errors. 2 left stranded at third and first base. And that will send us to the top half of the second inning, where the Bulldogs and the Gamecocks are tied at 0. Alyssa Faircloth will be back out in the circle for Mississippi State. It'll be 5, 6, and 7 due up for South Carolina when we get back. McKay, Winters, and Davis. More Bulldog softball in just a moment. I'm Ty Goldman alongside you here at News Park with the Bulldog Student Sports Network and Learfield.
Everything is just a little easier when you feel at home. At Cadence Bank, we're proud to be part of your home team, and we never stop working to give you a competitive advantage. Stop by a branch or visit us online at cadencebank.com to learn more about how we're helping opportunity take shape for our community.
There's a hit out to left field. This one is gone.
Cadence Bank, a proud sponsor of Mississippi State Athletics. Equal opportunity lender, member FDIC.
Hey fans, I know you'd do anything for a win on game day and an ice-cold Bud Light. Because whether you're tailgating in the parking lot or parked on the couch, sitting on your lucky stool at the bar, or standing in the fan section all game long, the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light turns a win into a win-win. And there's nothing easier to enjoy than that. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Welcome back into the Bulldog Student Sports Network. I'm Ty Goldman alongside you here at News Park. Mississippi State and South Carolina doing battle in game 1 of this 3-game set. Scoreless through 1. We head to the top half of the second inning. Both teams with a hit each. Left a couple of stranded. Mississippi State did in their offensive frame of the first, and Carolina led their leadoff hitter stranded in their offensive frame of the first. And leading off will be Jamie McKay. McKay, I mentioned this when I was talking about the lineups. Transfer from Ole Miss. Saw her here. Last year. Zio in there for a called strike one. But saw her here last year. She went 1 for 4 in the 2 games she played against Mississippi State last year here in Starkville with Ole Miss. Bulldogs won that series 2-3. Swing and a miss now 1-2 this year. Hadn't started in many, her 16th start this season, coming in a .234 batting average, a .200 batting average in conference play. The 1-2 just misses off the outer edge, and count now even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two-two to McKay. Swung on, sent into shallow right center field, and Abby Gracer Schaefer has trouble with it, and it just drops right in front of her. And McKay able to make it to first base. Don't know if Schaefer ever saw that one. Sun may be in the eyes there. I'd say that should be scored. Don't know if it ever hit the glove. Maybe it scored a hit, and it is scored a hit. Just an interesting situation there, and McKay in safely with an infield single. Lexi Winters now going to stand in. Showing bunt, pulls back, and there's strike one. Winters, senior, .264 batting average this season on a .272 batting average, rather, in this one. In there for strike two. 0 for 2 in the loss on Wednesday against Clemson. So I'm going to get on here in this one. This one sent in the right. Sells in. Will make the grab on a dive for out number 1. Nice play from Kiara Sells. And the Bulldogs with 1 out now here. In the top half of the second inning. Now number 8, Tate Davis will stand in. Sophomore infielder out of Greer, South Carolina, also a transfer from Ole Miss. First pitch to her in there for a called strike one. 15 games played last year and a .182 batting average and 11 at-bats for the Rebels. This year, a .308 average at the dish, and she fouls this one back and quickly in a hole 0-2. Just look at Faircloth this season has just been so solid. Again, 3rd in the nation in strikeouts, 1st in the conference. It has been great in SEC play, too. Softly hit over to Barbary, 5-4, and Schaefer lost it on the transfer, and so that'll be just 1 out, but the lead runner is retired in McKay. And there's 2 gone now in the inning. Schaefer just couldn't hold on to it there on the transfer. And a meeting in the circle for the Bulldog infield. 2 outs now, a runner at first base. Here in the top of the second, still scoreless at 0. Again, just looking at Faircloth, has been solid in SEC play, too. Has been state's best pitcher in SEC play. 0.74 ERA coming in 4 appearances in conference play, two starts, 1-1. That 1 loss was on the 3-1 loss that went into 9 innings with Tennessee in game 1 of SEC play for state. 2 complete games, 19 innings pitched, 13 hits, only 2 earned runs, 26 strikeouts as well, and only 3 walks. Alyssa Hovermail going to stand in now. Junior designated player in the first pitch. Misses inside for ball 1. Thought that one maybe caught the inside corner, but not to our home plate umpire and Tatum Stolting. The 1-0 to Hovermail, and that one Can't call that one anything but a strike right down Broadway, and evens the count up at 1-1. Hovermail, junior infielder out of Norco, California, transfer from Florida. This one fouled. I think it's going to get out of play, and it will in the seats. 1-2 now. Had a season-ending injury earlier in the year last year for Florida. But this season, and at SEC play with South Carolina, 200 batting average. The 1-2-2er swung on and missed, strike 3. Third strikeout of the ball game for Alyssa Faircloth. First here in this top half of the second, and the top half of the second is retired. No runs on one hit. No errors and one left on base, just like the top half of the first for South Carolina. And that will send us to the bottom half of the second inning here in Starkville. Score still 0-0. We'll keep it here near the middle of this inning. Bulldogs will come up to bat. 6, 7, and 8, Bernardini, Silva, and Schaefer for Mississippi State, facing off against Emma Friedel. So look at some scores. We'll look at a score pertaining to Mississippi State baseball and see what that score is up there in Oxford. 1-0 Mississippi State in the top half of the third. It's also in part thanks to my dad for the text of that. Kevin Maluski with a home run for Mississippi State. And so the Bulldogs lead the Rebels 1-0, trying to take the series in the top half of the third inning in Oxford. Neil Price on the call on our radio up there. Hellstate.com and Hell State app, and also local radio here. But we're glad to be with you with the Bulldog Student Sports Network here in Starkville for Mississippi State softball, as well as we're on our YouTube channel, as well as Hellstate.com and the Hell State app. Pleasure to be broadcasting with you here at News Park. So again, Bulldogs will have 6, 7, and 8 due up here in the bottom of the second inning. And Morgan Bernardini now going to stand in. Bernardini, a .273 average on the year. First pitch to her misses for ball one. Average in SEC play, not where she wants it. .059. Struck out 5 times in 6 games played so far. Started every one of them, and this 1-0 misses high for ball 2. Went 1 for 8 last weekend against Georgia. Went 1 for 2 in the midweek against UT Martin this week. Sends us an over to the right side and through. Past Rhodey at first base, and the Bulldogs with a leadoff single to start the bottom half of the second inning. That one just passed the glove of Rhodey over there. Couldn't quite pick it. The Bulldogs will lead off runner aboard, and Tatum Silva now will stand in. Junior outfielder out of Rescue, California, transfer from Utah State. First pitch to her, she tries to lay down a bunt, fouls it out of play. Third baseman in Davis was crashing there, as well as the first baseman in Rhodey was crashing too. South Carolina expecting that. Going to make sure you get it down and lay it down soft. 0-1 to Silva with Bernardini at first. She looks to swing away here and take strike 2 right down the middle. And quickly the count 0-2 on Silva. .297 batting average coming into this ball game. 100 batting average in SEC play. Only 1 hit with 10 tries, and just off of this one, swings, fouls it back to the netting, and count will stay at 0-2. Bulldogs so far 2 for 5 as a team. They've also walked once. so have been active with the sticks early on. The 0-2 misses low and inside for ball one. Silva last year with Utah State. Really good year, .491 batting average in conference play. Swings and misses for strike three. One gone in the inning now for Gabby Schaefer. Schaefer, .292 average. Looking for a first hit since game in conference play since game 3 against Tennessee. This one catches the outer half for strike one. One hit in conference play so far. It was a home run against Tennessee, a solo home run. It tied the game at 1. Tennessee eventually went on to win 4-1. It gave the Bulldogs some life in that ball game. And 0-1 misses outside for ball one. A freshman out of Monroe, New York. Second player ever from the state of New York to come to play for this Bulldogs softball program. The reach from this staff, recruiting-wise, reaches far and wide. 1-1 misses, now 2-1. Bernardini at first. Leadoff single for her in the right field. State trying to get her, want to try and get her in a scoring position here. Schaefer fouls it back. Count now even at 2-2. Played in 2 ball games last weekend. Started in them both. 0 for 6. Had a good midweek. Reached in every plate appearance against UT Martin on Wednesday. Swing and a miss, strike 3. She's retired on strikes for the 10th time this year. Friedel, her 3rd strikeout of the ball game, and Abby Grace Richardson at the bottom of the order now will stand in with 2 outs and a runner at first for MSU. Time called from Friedel in the circle. She'll step off and regather. Gamecocks will have 9-1-2 due up. That's Shay Anderson and Quincy Lelio and Carly Shelton next half inning. 0-0. Misses low for ball one. Just missed low, too. That looked pretty good from here. But not a strike. The 1-0. That one catches the outer half. Now 1-1. Richardson trying to settle in. .236 batting average on the year. Senior infielder out of Brookhaven, Mississippi. Played 2 years at Co-Lin. In her 2nd year here at State. This one misses low for ball 2. She started at first base on Wednesday against the Skyhawks and went 0 for 1. Then Paige Ernstis came in to replace her. 2-1 to her. Swung on and missed. There's strike 2. The deuce was on the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs here in the home half of the 2nd. Bulldogs have got the leadoff runner aboard with a single, but have been retired 2 in a row. The 2-2. Fouled back. We'll do the 2-2 again momentarily. Three multi-hit games this year for AG. A solid on-base percentage of .429 in Southeastern Conference play. The 2-2 again. Swung on, fouled back to the netting, and she's staying alive in the count. We'll do it again. Both tomorrow's game and Monday's game will be at 6 p.m. Central Time here in Starkville. Be on national television as well. This one misses outside. Count runs full. We'll have them for you on the Bulldog Student Sports Network, both on our YouTube channel as well as on hailstate.com and the Hail State app. The 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. Big out to get there for Emma Friedel. Able to work through the bottom of the second inning. Fourth strikeout of the ball game for Friedel. Going toe-to-toe with the Bulldogs starter in Alyssa Faircloth. No runs on one hit. No errors and one left on base. 3 left on base so far from Mississippi State through 2 innings. As we head to the top half of the third inning here in Starkville, Alyssa Faircloth back out in the circle for Mississippi State. 9-1-2 due up for South Carolina in Shay Anderson, Quincy Lelio, and going to be Carly Shelton. So back in just a minute for more Bulldog softball. Scoreless 0-0 as we head to the top half of the third inning. I'm Ty Goldman, and you're listening to Mississippi State softball on the Bulldog Student Sports Network and Learfield.
Ever imagine one company could transform how you live and work? With C-Spire, you're connected with advanced technology that enhances everything you do. How you order your morning coffee.
Order my usual.
How you secure your company's data. Even how you implement AI to increase productivity.
And next quarter is looking even better.
Giving you the confidence and control to accelerate business growth. There's more to see. C-Spire. Customer inspired.
Southern Ag Services and Alliance Ag Risk Management have deep roots in the farming communities of Mississippi and the Mid-South. Using crop insurance and research-based agronomy, our strategies will minimize your production risks and maximize your economic returns. Partnering with us ensures you'll get years of farming experience and local successes to help you make solid decisions. Alliance Ag Risk Management and Southern Ag Services, 662-268-8006.
Back here in Starkville on the Bulldog Student Sports Network, I'm Ty Goldman alongside you. We move to the third inning, top half of the third, and Mississippi State and South Carolina doing battle in game one, still scoreless at 0. And the 9-hole hitter and Shay Anderson going to stand in for the Gamecocks facing the Bulldogs ace in Alyssa Faircloth. 0-0, right down the middle for strike one. Anderson averaged just a point under 300 this year at 299. The 0-1, right down the middle again now, 0-2. SEC play has struggled, though, a 148 batting average. Swing and a miss, strike three. So continues that struggle there. Another strikeout for Alyssa Faircloth. 4 in the ball game, 4, matching what Carolina's pitcher in Friedel's doing. And a lineup will flip over, in now Quincy Lelio will stand in. Led off the game with a single. Left stranded. First pitch to her misses outside for ball 1. Lelio fouls this one down the first baseline, evens the count up at 1-1. Back looking at that Clemson game, Gamecocks only had 4 hits in the ball game. Lelio had 2 of them. Only player with multiple hits in the game for South Carolina. That 8-0 loss in the first matchup of their Palmetto series. (1-1) to Lelio. On the outer half, and there's strike 2. 318 batting average in SEC play for. Last year, started every bit of the 61 games for Carolina in center field. Now in left field for the Gamecocks. 1-2 rather misses, now 2-2. 66 hits last season, drew 45 walks. It's the second best mark in a single season at USC. The 2-2 misses inside. I think it might have hit her, and it did. And Faircloth loses Lelio. She reaches for the second time in the ball game. And a runner again for South Carolina. They've had a runner on base every inning so far now. Have left 2 stranded. Carly Shelton will now stand in. Into the left-handed batter's box. First pitch to her. Misses off the outer half for ball 1. 7th hit by pitch on the year for Faircloth. And again, hadn't made many mistakes in conference play this season either. This one misses low now, 2-0, and so got to be careful with the dangerous Shelton. 381 batting average in SEC play coming in. 32 RBIs on the year. That's the best for Carolina. 2-0 though right there, and Faircloth trying to battle back now, 2-1. Started every single ball game last year for the Gamecocks. Led the team in hits with 68. This one fouled out of play, or over towards the dugout rather, and of South Carolina. And count now evens at 2-2. But led the team in hits. 68 runs last year with 58. Hit 343. 2-2. Swing, foul ball back. We'll do the 2-2 again. Lelio over at first was there in the first inning. Again, not one to move very much. Only 2 stolen bags on the year in 2 attempts. The 2-2. Swung on, foul back. Des Rivera will go collect it. All pink catcher's gear for her. Again, in think pink game today here at Mississippi State. 2-2. Fouled back, and Shelton battling here in the at-bat. Again, today's Think Pink game against South Carolina, presented by Baptist Memorial Hospital of Oktibbeha County, the official women's health care provider of Mississippi State Athletics. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Way out in front of that one was Shelton. 5th strikeout of the ball game for Faircloth. 2 retired here in the top half of the 3rd inning. Faircloth looking to get past the 1-out hit by pitch. Now to be Tori Inslee standing in. She sends the first pitch she sees in the center. Tatum Silva will range in and make the grab for out number 3. So again, the Gamecocks strand 1 runner. They've done that so far in every inning in this ball game. No runs, no hits this inning for South Carolina. No errors and 1 left on base, as I mentioned. Gamecocks have left 3 on base in the ball game. Bulldogs have done the same thing. Scoreline looks exactly the same right now. No score through 2.5 innings. 2 hits for both teams, no errors, and 3 left on base each for both ball clubs. We'll keep it right here as we transition to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Again, another update on Mississippi State baseball. I believe in the top half of the 4th, and still 1-0. Mississippi State on top, looking to take the series. Look at some SEC softball action today. You look at last night first. Usually get a Friday, Saturday, Sunday series. State with a Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So looking around here, Ole Miss with a big upset yesterday. Number 4 Tennessee, won 2-1 in Knoxville. So a big win for Ole Miss. We're looking to maybe take the series today. Saw that last night on my Twitter feed, and a shocker right there. Georgia won over Kentucky in 6 last night, 10-2. Texas, number 1 in the country, top 15 matchup with Texas A&M. They won 9-8, a barn burner in Austin last night over the Aggies. Oklahoma won in 8 innings last night in Baton Rouge against LSU, 3-2. Arkansas won 6-2 over Florida in a top 10 matchup in Game 1. Missouri with a 3-0 win over Auburn last night. And then Alabama on an off weekend in terms of SEC play, hosting North Dakota State this weekend. Won 8-1 last night over the Bisons. 1-2-3 due up for State here in the bottom of the third. Kiara Sells stands in. First pitch she sees from Emma Friedel misses for ball one. We'll get you some more scores from today as well in just a little bit. 1-0, misses low, now 2-0. Sells struck out swinging in her first plate appearance. Again, in that leadoff spot has been solid this year for State in their senior season out of Jasper, Texas. Sends this one over to the right side and through for a leadoff single. Back-to-back innings for Mississippi State with a leadoff single. Now Sells extends that 5-game reach base streak that she was on now to 6. And Bulldogs with a leadoff runner aboard and in a good spot in the order here. Now 2-hole Morgan Stiles going to stand in. Sells over there at first base. 8 for 10 on the year in stolen bases. Scored 36 runs for State. See if State's aggressive. Stiles trying to bunt and pops it up. And right to the catcher Winters. And just an unproductive out there. And I'm sure Stiles frustrated with herself. And first out of the inning there for South Carolina. Nadia Barbary now going to stand in for Mississippi State. She singled back in the first inning. Bulldogs have had a hit in every inning so far. The 0-0 to her. Misses off the outer half for ball one. Zone has been, for me, just from looking here from the press box, I don't have a direct angle, but has been fairly tight, at least in my opinion. 1-0. That one catches the outer half and evens the count up at 1-1. Barbary also on a reach base streak, 5 games. Rather now 6 after that single in the first. So both Sells and Barbary with a 6-game reach base streak now. 1-1 misses low and in the dirt. Good block behind the plate from Winters, and count now 2-1. Barbary went 1 for 3 on Wednesday against UT Martin. Had an RBI in that game. Drew a walk as well. State's 7-0 win over the Skyhawks last midweek of the year. This one popped in the air. Second baseman Shelton calling everybody off, makes the play. There's out number 2. So 2 pop-outs for Mississippi State with a leadoff single. Bulldogs got to find a way to advance some runners here. State now 1 for 8 with runners on base in the ballgame. Des Rivera will stand in. 2 outs for MSU in their home half of the third. Grounder over to the left side. Third baseman Davis has trouble with it. Gets into the outfield and Sells round second over to third in time. And that one off the glove there. And Rivera able to reach and Sells to third base. See how they score that one. I think they're going to score it a hit, and they looks like they're going to score that one a hit. At least they do on the scoreboard. Hit off of her body, but it was a tough one to field. They do score it a hit. So 2 hits for State here, and now runners at the corners with 2 outs for Taylor Troutman. Got in this situation earlier in the game. See if she can convert now. This one sent down the left field line and just foul. Just foul. It went over the wall, too. It would have been, if fair, a ground rule double would have scored 1. And granted, Lilio had a really good jump on the ball, and I don't think there was much room for that one to land fair if it didn't tell foul, because I think Lilio would have had her glove on it. Time called behind the plate, and Winter's going to go talk with her pitcher in Friedel, and so will the entire Gamecock infield. So runners at first and third for State. Sells at third, Rivera at first. State looking to convert here with runners in scoring position. for the first time in the ball game. Had 2 opportunities to do that so far, 0 for 2. The Bulldogs have been active on the sticks, just hadn't been able to score one yet. 4 hits now in the game, and I think South Carolina might make a change pitching. It looks like they will. So an early exit for Emma Friedel, who to me is surprising exit. Looks like she was fine, but maybe won't change up here. I think I saw them signal for number 25, and it'll be number 25, and I'm going to make sure it is, and it is. Number 25 in Jory Hurd. Talked about her in the pregame. She's going to get the ball now here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. So for Friedel, her book not quite closed yet. She would be responsible for the runners at first base and third base if they scored. But as of now, goes 2 2/3 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs. Again, would be responsible for the 2 if they scored. Four strikeouts, only 1 walk, faced 13 Bulldog batters, and threw 53 total pitches. Thought pretty good start there. And Carolina has, multiple pitchers in that pen. 7 on the roster, and so, they have had multiple games this year where they have worked multiple pitchers. State has been fortunate to have really good starts from some of their girls, and so hadn't had to work multiple pitchers, like more than 2 very often, but Carolina has done that a lot this season. And so they work with their second one here. And Jory Hurd, a senior righty out of Algonquin, Illinois, this year a 1.46 ERA, 9th in the SEC. Her 22nd appearance in her 9th start. 4-3 record, 77 innings pitched, the most on this roster. 60 hits given up, 24 runs, 16 earned, 19 walks, 65 Ks. That's first on this roster. And a .215 opponent batting average. So far, 0-2 in SEC play. Had 2 separate starts, one against Texas and one against LSU. First pitch on the inner half and called a strike. 0-2 now to Troutman. Again, she fouled off the first pitch from Friedel in the at-bat. And so a strike there makes the count no balls and 2 strikes. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Throw down. They don't have to really worry about it because it wasn't a drop third strike. And a strikeout for Jory Hurd as she comes into the ball game and strands 2 runners for Mississippi State. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left on base. That'll move us to the top half of the 4th inning. Still scoreless here in Starkville in Game 1 between these 2 top 25 teams, both looking for their first conference series win. Back in just a moment for more Mississippi State softball. I'm Ty Goldman alongside you, and you're listening to Mississippi State softball on the Bulldog Student Sports Network in Learfield.
Trey Willis, shortstop.
Marshall Jones, first baseman.
Alex Philbin, center fielder.
Hi, I'm Tim from C Spire. Am I in the right place?
It always pays to have the right players on your team. That's why C Spire gives you fiber-fast home internet, nationwide 5G wireless, and best-in-class business solutions. All backed by local 24/7 support. C Spire, customer inspired.
Hi, I'm Jake Mangum. Life is about making the most of your at-bats. So if you struck out looking for auto insurance, give Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance a shot. Farm Bureau Insurance is offering huge discounts on their auto rates. In fact, over the last 12 months, Farm Bureau Insurance has taken 3 rate reductions. Talk about coming through in the clutch. So if you were with us before or you're new to Farm Bureau, it's time to come home. Visit msfbins.com to find great new rates on auto insurance. And go with the home team.
Welcome back into the Bulldog Student Sports Network. I'm Ty Goldman. Alongside you here at News Park, Mississippi State and South Carolina moving now to the top half of the fourth inning. Bulldogs and Gamecocks tied at 0. It'll be Ariana Rhodey leading off for South Carolina to start this top half of the fourth inning against Alyssa Faircloth of Mississippi State. First pitch to Rhodey misses for ball 1. Rhodey in the right-handed batter's box, a senior. This one misses off the inner half. Now count quickly at 2-0 in favor of the senior out of Cranston, Rhode Island. 8th among active players in NC2A. So this one catches his own now 2-1. 8th among active players in the NC2A with 50 career home runs. Hit 17 last year. It set a program record a single season at South Carolina. This one misses low, and now 3-1. So Faircloth now having to work for strikes here. The 3-1 to the leadoff hitter in Rhodey. Swung on, sent right up the middle and through. Leadoff single for South Carolina. The Gamecocks with their third hit of the ball game, and now have had continuing that streak of having a runner on every inning. So now Jamie McKay will stand in. She's also 1 for 1 in this one. That awkward single, an infield single to her first at bat. Gabby Schaefer just couldn't really find the ball. Pinch runner for South Carolina going to be the redshirt junior in Lexi Shaver. Showing bunt as McKay lays it down. Nice bunt, throw to first in time, and McKay does the good job, a sacrifice bunt. There's one out here in the top half of the fourth inning. McKay able to lay that one down, and a perfect sac bunt with the first base line. Good defense, though, from State to be able to go to work with that. And so now South Carolina with a runner in scoring position for the first time in the ballgame. Lexi Winters now going to stand in. Off speed on the inside corner for strike 1. Winters flew out back in the second over to Kiara Sells and right. This year, 13 RBIs. This one misses now 1-1. 13 RBIs, a .304 hitter with runners in scoring position. The 1-1. That catches the inner half as well, and Faircloth doing a good job of working the inner half of the zone. And 1-2 now the count on the senior out of Lexington, South Carolina. One-two swung on, fouled over to the State bench. Had 2 RBIs last weekend against LSU. Went 3 for 12 in that series. Had 53 total last year. The 1-2. All speed and got her looking. Strikeout number 6 for Alyssa Faircloth. And there's 2 gone now here in the Carolina half of the fourth. Another K for Faircloth. And for her 16th, I was looking at my stat sheet, looked at another number, my apologies. Her 13th game this season now with 5+ strikeouts. She's had 5 games this year with 10, or at least 10. Now with these 6 today, 32 strikeouts in 5 appearances in SEC play. Tate Davis now going to stand in. First pitch to her misses low for ball 1. She grounded into a fielder's choice back in the second inning. Shaver out at second. Primarily been a pinch runner this year. 26 games played. There's swing and a miss. Strike 1. scored 10 runs for Carolina this year. Hadn't stolen a bag. 0 for 1, in fact, in her one attempt. Pinch ran on Wednesday against Clemson. And pinch ran in all 3 games against LSU last weekend, the 1-1. Misses high and tight for ball 2. Davis, a 200 hitter with 2 outs this season, 317 with runners in scoring position. Here's a 2-1. Slow roller. Going to be a tough play for Barbary. Throw over in time. 5-3 put out to end the top half of the 4th inning. So Gamecocks get another runner aboard. They get him, or get her the furthest that they've had a runner all game over to second base, but that's the furthest she could get. No runs on 1 hit, no errors. 1 left on base again for South Carolina in the top half of the 4th inning. Our score still remains 0-0 between Mississippi State and South Carolina. As we hit the bottom of the 4th, we'll keep it here on the Bulldog Student Sports Network. Another update of baseball. Looks like we are going to the bottom of the 4th inning. The Bulldogs, a couple of runs scored in that top half of the 4th. Made Ole Miss have to make a pitching change, and so Bulldogs lead 3-0 as we head to the bottom, or as they go to the bottom half of the 4th there in Oxford. Again, a win would solidify a series win over Ole Miss. Bulldogs have won 9 out of the last 10 series against the Rebels. They've dominated their rivals from up north. Some scores today in NCAA softball or SEC softball. Mentioned Texas won last night earlier, and mentioned some scores from last night. Texas up in the bottom of the 6th right now over A&M, 3-2. Ole Miss, bottom of the 6th inning. They won last night over Tennessee. They're up 2-1 in the bottom of the 6th right now on the Lady Volunteers. It's interesting there. A win would solidify a series win for the Lady Rebels. Georgia all over Kentucky in the bottom of the 5th, 11-1. Looking at it, it looks like that's all the scores going on right now. Got one more. Bottom of the 3rd, Missouri looking to take the series today. They're up 6-1 over Auburn. Some finals from earlier. LSU even the series with Oklahoma, won 3-1. And Alabama won the series over North Dakota State. A run rule in 5, 13-0. And later tonight, you'll have Arkansas and Florida in Game 2, with Razorbacks looking to take the series against the Gators. There's some scores from the day. Morgan Bernardini going to lead off for State. First pitch to her, a strike, and now she sends this one in the right and continues her great day. Bernardini now 2 for 2 in the ball game with 2 singles. And Mississippi State with a leadoff runner aboard once again. A leadoff runner aboard last half inning, and have had that happen for the past 3. Bernardini's led off 2 innings in the ball game for State and has led off those 2 innings with 2 singles. Pinch runner for Mississippi State, and Bulldogs going to go with Greta Grassel pinch running, and now State's going to go with a pinch hitter for Tatum Silva, and it's going to be the Southern Illinois transfer and Anna Carter. Carter swinging away and takes the first pitch for ball 1. She's coming in, played 2 games and started 1 last weekend against Georgia. In SEC play so far has played a total of 3 and started 2, a .250 batting average. Fouls this one high and on top of the net for strike 1. Again, transfer from Southern Illinois, had a great 3 years there. .260 total batting average this season. 8 RBIs. Great OBP, 409, has 14 walks, 3rd on the roster. Tries to lay one down, and a diving play made behind the plate as State pops up another bunt attempt. Winters with the diving play made, and there's one out in the inning. State tried to do that last half inning. Morgan Stiles popped up a bunt to the catcher. This time Winters had to give a little bit of effort, but able to make the play. And the Bulldogs squander an opportunity for a sacrifice bunt. Gabby Schaefer now will stand in with one out in the inning and a runner at first. This one fouled over the netting above the South Carolina bench. Heads up over there. Love the all-maroon from State. Always a good look. Love when we go with the pins. And speaking of the pins, look for South Carolina is fantastic today. Those white pins with the script Gamecocks across the front and garnet. This one fouled over to the right, now 0-2. Great logo as well, South Carolina. And between these two teams, again, such a close series all the time. State leads 37-35, and this pitch, the 0-2 in there for a called strike 3. And so Schaefer retired for the second time now on strikes, and 2 outs in the inning after a leadoff single for MSU. And State going to go with another pinch hitter. It's going to be Paige Ernstis. We'll see if Ernstis goes and plays defense in the top half of the 5th inning, but she'll be the hitter right now. Ernstis came in and did this on Wednesday against UT Martin. AG had 1 at-bat, went 0 for 1, but Paige came in, had 2 at-bats, went 1 for 2, and scored a run for State in the 7-0 win. This one misses outside to her. Ball 1, 158. Batting average for her this year, 250 with runners on. It's Greta Grassel over at first base. Pinch running for Bernardini. Had that leadoff single. State with 5 hits in the ball game. 1-0 misses outside, now 2-0. If Ernstis can get on base, lineup will flip over. Kiara Sales waiting in the on-deck circle. 2-0 right down Broadway. And count now 2 balls and 1 strike. Two, 1 in there as well. Sweeped its way into the strike zone from left to right of Ernstis, and now after starting 2-0 in the count, Ernstis has a count even at 2-2. Swung on, sent into center. Given a pretty good ride, but Inslee back on the warning track makes the grab for out number 3. Wind not helping too much. Not blowing as much as it has been, but blowing in and not helping for anything trying to take its way or make its way out of center field. Bulldogs strand another runner, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Bulldogs have stranded 6 so far in this ball game, and combined between the two, 10 left on base through the first 4 innings of game 1. 0-0 still our score. We head to the top half of the 5th inning. Alyssa Faircloth back out in the circle for State. It'll be 8-9-1 due up for South Carolina. Hovermail, Anderson, and Lelio. Again, scoreless at 0. We head to the top half of the 5th inning. I'm Ty Goldman, and you're listening to Mississippi State Softball on the Bulldog Student Sports Network and Learfield.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric, and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
Bulldog fans, are you looking for the perfect weekend getaway? Look no further. Pearl River Resort in Choctaw, Mississippi offers the experience of a lifetime. World-class entertainment, unique shopping, and the ultimate in fine dining. And if that's not enough, hit the links at the world-renowned Azaleas and Oaks courses at Dancing Rabbit Golf Club and complete your stay in luxurious relaxation at the spa. Your exhilarating weekend awaits only at Pearl River Resort, where you'll be at the center of it all. Must be 21 or older.
Welcome back into the Bulldog Student Sports Network on Learfield. I'm Ty Goldman alongside you. Here in Starkville, we head to the 5th inning. We've played 4, and we still have no score. 8 hits combined between the two teams, and 10 left on base combined between the two teams, but no team has been able to cross home plate. Alyssa Hovermail going to lead off for South Carolina here in the away half of the 5th, and Alyssa Faircloth back in the circle in the first pitch to Hovermail, a strike. Hovermail 0 for 1 today, and there is one that catches the zone as well, now 0-2. Greta Grassel now in left field for State. Kalani Sells in right. Paige Ernstis at first base. This one just misses, now 1-2. So the battery is Faircloth in the circle, Rivera behind the plate, and then in the field, Barbary at third, Stiles at short, Schaefer at second, Ernstis at first base. Give the rest to you in just a second. 1-2, sent into left, ranging over is Grassel, able to make the grab for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down here in the top half of the 5th inning. And Shea Anderson now going to stand in for South Carolina. Rest of that field alignment for you. Grassel in left, who just made that grab. Tatum Silva back in the center field. And Kalani Sells over now in right. Anderson 0 for 1 of the game. A strikeout. One of the 6 strikeout victims in the ball game for Alyssa Faircloth. First pitch to Anderson, a strike. So far, 4 1/3 innings now for Faircloth. 3 hits given up, no earned runs, no walks. 1 hit by pitch. 6 strikeouts. Anderson looking to try and lay down a bunt here and catch State sleeping, but misses the bunt attempt. The count now runs in favor of the Bulldogs lefty, 0-2. (0-2) pitch. Swung on, sent, out of play. Over towards the tennis center. Bulldogs tennis last night, I believe. Yeah, last night. Men's tennis, a win over Ole Miss, 6-1. This one misses outside down 1-2. Men's tennis, number 6 in the country. Been fantastic this year. Multiple ranked wins. Dominating their arch rival last night. The 1-2. This is low. Evens the count up. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Anderson trying to stay alive. She's drawn 15 walks this season, 3rd on the Carolina roster. 3rd most. 2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Anderson strikes out for the 2nd time in the ball game. 7th strikeout of the ball game for Alyssa Faircloth. She's moved quickly through the bottom half of the order in for South Carolina. The lineup will flip over, though, to Quincy Lelio, who's 1 for 1 in the game and has reached twice, a single in the 1st, and was hit by a pitch in the 3rd. She sends this one into the left center field gap. Unable to cut it off is Grassel, and a double into the left center field gap for Lelio. Well, she kind of got a piece of it, rather, and flipped it up to Silva in center field to let her throw it. And so Lelio, at that top of the order, has been wonderful for South Carolina. 2 for 2 now, has reached in every plate appearance. An extra base hit for her. Her 43rd hit on the season. Looks like a pinch runner for South Carolina. It will be Kai Byers, a freshman out of Mechanicsville, Virginia, going to come in and pinch run. Carly Shelton at the dish. She's 0 for 2 today. It's Cade twice. This one sent into right. Don't believe it's going to be high enough. Sale's going to have to run in and make a grab, and dives and makes it for out number 3. Oh, my goodness. Would have been the first run of the ball game. That ball's being sent out to right had been just lost in that sun. And Sales, even though having the shades on, able to find a way to track that thing down, dive, and make a grab for out number 3. Almost a run scored for South Carolina as we send to the bottom half of the 5th inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base for South Carolina. Here in the top half of the 5th. We'll go to the bottom half of the 5th, still scoreless at 0, Mississippi State and South Carolina. Looking to, both of these teams looking to win their first conference series of the year. Bulldogs looking to win the opener for the first time this season in Southeastern Conference play. Back in just a moment for more Bulldogs softball. I'm Ty Goldman, and you're listening to Mississippi State Softball on the Bulldogs Student Sports Network in Learfield.
Everything is just a little easier when you feel at home. At Cadence Bank, we're proud to be part of your home team, and we never stop working to give you a competitive advantage. Stop by a branch or visit us online at cadencebank.com to learn more about how we're helping opportunity take shape for our community.
There's a hit out to left field. This one is gone.
Cadence Bank, a proud sponsor of Mississippi State Athletics. Equal opportunity lender, member FDIC.
Hey fans, I know you'd do anything for a win on game day and an ice-cold Bud Light. Because whether you're tailgating in the parking lot or parked on the couch, sitting on your lucky stool at the bar, or standing in the fan section all game long, the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light turns a win into a win-win. And there's nothing easier to enjoy than that. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Welcome back into the Bulldogs Student Sports Network. I'm Ty Goldman alongside you here in Starkville at News Park. Scoreless as we head to the bottom half of the 5th inning between number 12 Mississippi State and number 23 South Carolina. Top half of the order do it for State 1, 2, and 3. It's Kiara Sells who stands in, takes the first pitch for ball 1 from Jory Hurd, who threw 1 1/3 innings, has worked a clean slate. 1 hit, though, given up. No earned runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. He's faced 5 maroon and white batters so far. And the 1-0 misses outside, now 2-0. Sells 1 for 2, single back in the 3rd. Fouls this one back off the net. Count 2-1 now on Sells, who's now reached base, as I mentioned earlier, in 6 straight ball games. Had a really good weekend last weekend against Georgia. Reached an 8 out of 11 plate appearances against the Bulldogs last weekend in 3 games. Sends this one over to the left side. Davis with a pick throw over to first in time for out number 1. Sells retired in the field for the first time in the ball game, and Morgan Stiles will stand in. So she's reached in the ball game, back in the first, walked. 0 for 1 though. Tried to lay down a bunt in the 3rd and popped out in foul territory. This one misses high to the Bulldogs' 2-spot hitter, sophomore out of Athens, Alabama. Great freshman year last year. Continuing that success this year. This one sweeps into the zone, 1-1 now. Coming into the game was on a 7-game reach base streak, now on an 8-game reach base streak after the walk in the first. So a couple of dogs on this team have reached base quite a few times in a row. This one deposited out into left and going to drop for a 1-out single. Stiles gives Mississippi State their 6th hit of the ball game. Another runner on base. Bulldogs have had a runner on base every half inning so far. So has South Carolina, and now Nadia Barbary will stand in for Mississippi State. She's 1 for 2 today. .316 hitter in in SEC play coming in. I was looking at the OBP too, 381 OBP in SEC play. And so it's been really good for Mississippi State. Their best hitter in Southeastern Conference play so far. She's 1 for 2 today. It takes the first pitch for strike 1. Time called from Hurd. Pitched as well on Wednesday in relief against Clemson. Might have mentioned that earlier, but I will again. Gave up 2 runs. One of those was earned. Oh, and an excuse me swing foul ball there. Barbary didn't even go around, barely offered at it. The bat somehow found the ball, and it's fouled back for strike 2. So 1 out for State with Styles at first. State trying to score the first run of the ball game. 0-2. Swung on, fouled back. We'll do the 0-2 again momentarily. They gave up 3 hits. Hurd did on Wednesday against Clemson. Like I said, 2 runs, 1 of them earned. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. They struggled in SEC play, 0-2 in 2 starts. 1 against LSU, 1 against Texas. 0-2. Barbary does not offer it. Misses outside. Got away from the catcher, but not far enough where Styles could advance. Barbary last weekend had an RBI. Looking for a first of the series here. Went 4 for 9 against Georgia. Last weekend had 2 doubles. The 1-2. Just misses off the outer edge, and the count evens at 2-2. Barbary trying to fight back here. 10 multi-hit games on the year. A hit here would make it 11. Coming in 29 RBIs on the season. That's the most on this Bulldog roster. The 2-2. Able to go down and get that one and foul it off down the third baseline, and count will stay at 2-2. So Barbary continuing the battle. Again, a gorgeous day here in Starkville, too. Feels great outside. No cloud on the sky. 2-2 to Barbary. Swung on, sent down the right field line. It's going to just eke out of play for a foul ball over towards the equipment over there on the right side near the Carolina bullpen. So another foul ball for Barbary. Continuing to fight this at bat. Hopefully it'll pay off for her. This one sent into right field. Ranging over is McKay, and pretty much straight away, right center, and a fly out for Barbary, and there's 2 gone in the inning for MSU. Bulldogs still just struggling with runners on. 2 for 14 now. Des Rivera going to stand in. 2 outs for Mississippi State in the home half of the 5th. With the game still tied at 0. First pitch to her in there for a called strike 1. Rivera 1 for 2 today. Got into his fielder's choice in the first. Singled in the third. The 0-1. Misses off the outer edge. Count evens at 1-1. 84 total pitches thrown by South Carolina's staff today. 54 of them strikes, so done a pretty good job. Rivera sends this one to straight away center. Up with it is Inslee, able to make the grab for out number 3. Bulldogs strand another. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base in the bottom half of the 5th inning for Mississippi State. And we are still scoreless as we head to the top half of the 6th inning. But State having great pitching from Alyssa Faircloth, and that's helped them through it, and also great defense as well from Mississippi State in this one. And so Bulldogs will look to continue to have that as we head to the top half of the 6th inning. Again, appreciate you tuning in here on the Bulldog Student Sports Network, and as well as on Learfield, on our YouTube channel, on the Bulldog Student Sports Network, as well as hellstate.com and the Hellstate app. Thankful to everybody involved, getting us partnered with Learfield, especially our SID and Brian Ogden. Thank you to Coach Samantha Ricketts as well for having an interview with me earlier. Appreciate that very much. Doesn't have to do that. She does, and she's helped us out. We appreciate her very much. And like I said, Ryan Ogden, our SID here for Mississippi State softball. Our communication sponsor, communication department sponsor, and Chris Mission. Thank him very much. Thank you to Neil Price and the people at Learfield as well. If you're not subscribed to us on our YouTube channel, you may be listening on hailstate.com on the Hail State app, but on our YouTube channel with the Bulldog Student Sports Network, you can subscribe to us over there on YouTube. Simply just Bulldog Student Sports Network. Click notification bell and get instant notifications when we go live broadcasting Mississippi State athletic events. We've done football this year, men's and women's basketball, baseball, and now softball. You can follow us on X as well, BSSN_MSU, and on Instagram at Bulldog Student Sports Network. We start the top half of the sixth inning. It'll be Tori Inslee standing in. First pitch to her in there for a called strike one for Faircloth. So far, 72 pitches thrown, 50 of them being strikes. This one sent into the left center field gap. It'll get all the way to the wall. Safe at second base is Inslee as a throw in and a leadoff double for the Gamecocks. And it's the second time they've gotten a runner to second base. And so early trouble for Mississippi State here in the top half of the sixth. Inslee, her first hit of the ball game. Bulldogs look to get out of an early jam here. Ariana Rhodey going to stand in now, 1 for 2 in a game, singled back in the fourth. Sends this one over towards right, and it's going to be out of play. Tailed a lot and got out of play, so 0-1 on Rhodey. Like I said, they had a single back in the fourth. Inslee at second base, 11 stolen bags this year and 13 tries. Don't think she'd try anything here. 29 runs scored. This bunt attempt popped up and a diving play made by Faircloth to make the grab for out number one. Outside of that McKay bunt in the first or earlier in the ball game, I think in the second, bunting has just not been in the cards for either of these teams. There's been a great defensive play there made by Faircloth for out number one. Way to field your position. Jamie McKay standing in. First pitch to her, swung on and missed for strike one. McKay, 1 for 1 in the game. Had that successful sacrifice bunt. In her second plate appearance, this one sent into left field, and up with it is Grassel as it got through the infield. Not deep enough to score the run, and now runners at the corners for South Carolina with 1 out. McKay continuing her great ball game, now 2 for 2. And so South Carolina, again with runners at the corners and 1 out. I think they might go with a pinch runner here, and they will. Nia McKnight will come in. Sophomore out of Loganville, Georgia. Primarily a pinch runner last year, played 40 games. This year's played 32. Started 25. Scored 19 runs this year for South Carolina. You know, went 1 for 5 in a series against LSU. So hit a little bit in that one, but didn't hit on Wednesday. Pinch ran and played defense for the Gamecocks on Wednesday against Clemson. So she'll pinch run over there at first. See what they try and do. Carolina does the first and third situation. 1 out, Lexi Winters at the plate. Runner going, throw down from Rivera, and safe is McKnight. And so now 2 runners in scoring position for South Carolina. And a ball hit in the outfield would most likely score 2. Now time called. And I think State's going to review and see if McKnight left early. Not a bad decision to do that. We got a couple challenges. It's going to be important here, and could get you an out as well to see if she left early. Pitch was a ball to Winters, so if this stands, it'll be runners at second and third with 1 out. Looks like she stayed clean. I think she's going to be fine. Looking at the replay on the video board, so see if the call stands. Just waiting on our word from our umpire here. All calls and SEC games and all reviews come through the SEC offices in Birmingham. And now home plate umpire in Tatum Stolting running over towards the third base side. And they might have to get on the review on the headset over there. I don't think they have maybe trouble with the headset. The other umpire, so we're just waiting a little bit here. But a big spot in the game. I mean, it's the biggest scoring threat for really any team so far. Here's the call. So they say she did not leave early, and runners now at second and third for South Carolina. 1 out, 1-0 count on Lexi Winters. But again, biggest scoring threat for either team. Carolina hadn't had very many opportunities to runners in scoring position, but neither has State. 1-0 to Winters. In the dirt, ball 2. Winters 0 for 2 in a game. This season has driven in 13 runners for South Carolina. The 2-0 on the inner half and misses. That's ball 3. A base open at first base. Bases loaded would open up double play anywhere. Showing bunt as Winters. I'm sure she'll pull back, and there's strike 1. So Faircloth continuing just to try and stay competitive here with the at-bat. 3-1 count. Hitters count here for Winters. Runners at second and third. Looking to show bunt. Now the runner moving, and Inslee will scamper back from third. And bunted through that one, and so now the count runs full, 3-2. Faircloth to strike away. Trying to get 2 outs in the inning. The 3-2. Swung on, sent over to Barber. He tried to tag Inslee at first. At third, the throw to first, not in time. And safe is Winters at first base. Maybe Barbary got to try and tag Inslee, and it was close over there, but tip of the glove just missed her at third base, and now the bases are loaded with 1 out in the inning. South Carolina, biggest scoring threat of the ball game here in the top of the 6th, scoreless at 0. This one sent to right, and it should drive in the first run of the game, and instead dropped and in foul territory, though. Luckily, that one was dropped in foul territory. Don't know if that was purposeful. I'm sure I would have to think it was from Kalani Sales out there. You catch that ball in foul territory, and it's taggable. And so as soon as that one got into foul territory, I think that was a strategic play for her to drop it. So 0-1 count now on Davis, 1 out in the inning. Bases still loaded. That one right down the middle now, 0-2. Davis 0 for 2 in a game. Fielder's choice in the second. Ground out in the fourth to Nadia Barbary. Forces anywhere. 0-2 count to Davis. Swung on and missed, strike 3. 8 strike out of the ball game, but State still got to get one more. The biggest at bat of the game right here. Alyssa Hovermail going to stand in. 10 RBIs on the season for her. The 0-0. In there, called strike 1. Gamecocks with their biggest scoring threat of the game. Ducks on the pond, everybody on base. 2 outs in the inning, still scoreless at 0. 0-1 misses outside now, 1-1. Overmail in bases loaded situations this year, 250, a 350 hitter with 2 outs, and 375 hitter with runners in scoring position. 1-1 fouled back. Now there's 2 strikes in the count. 1-2. Carolina. In this inning, it was a leadoff double and then a pop out. And then a single. Winters reached on a fielder's choice where Barbary just couldn't make the tag at third. The throw over was not in time. And Davis is struck out. And Inslee set the tone with that double into the gap all the way to the wall. And Faircloth with the biggest pitch of the ball game right here, looking to keep this thing tied. Bases loaded, 1-2 count with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Misses low, 2-2. Great block there from Des Rivera behind the plate as that one was in the dirt. Tense situation here. The 2-2 to Hovermail. Swung on, sent into right and down. 1 run will score. Here comes the second. 2-run score, throw to third, not in time. 2-0 Gamecocks. Hovermail comes through with a 2-strike, 2-out, 2 RBI single down over in right field. And South Carolina has scored the first runs of the game. 2-0 Gamecocks here in the top of the 6th. I think Carolina going to go with another pinch runner. Ansley Bennett will come in and pinch run for the Gamecocks. Just a massive hit from Hovermail. And Carolina throws the first punch. Shea Anderson standing in, swinging a miss. Strike 1. So, again, you still got plenty of time in this game. At least without extras, 2 frames to score 2. Great block from Rivera. There's the throw, and they got a runner and a rundown. Tag at second, and she is out. So Bennett caught stealing. Good awareness from Rivera there. State cut off the throw to second to try and maybe get the runner at home, but instead Bennett was just not able to get to second base, and she's tagged out. So that ends the top half of the 6th. 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base for South Carolina. They draw first blood here in Starkville, and it took them till the top of the 6th, but they're able to take a 2-0 lead. Bulldogs will have 5, 6, and 7 due up when we get back. Couple innings left to work with, but time's running thin. Mississippi State trails South Carolina 2-0 here in Game 1 in Starkville. Back in just a moment for more Bulldog softball. I'm Ty Goldman alongside you here with the Bulldog Student Sports Network and Learfield.
Ever imagine one company could transform how you live and work? With C Spire, you're connected with advanced technology that enhances everything you do. How you order your morning coffee.
Order my usual.
How you secure your company's data. Even how you implement AI to increase productivity.
And next quarter is looking even better.
giving you the confidence and control to accelerate business growth. There's more to see. C Spire. Customer inspired.
Southern Ag Services and Alliance Ag Risk Management have deep roots in the farming communities of Mississippi and the Mid-South. Using crop insurance and research-based agronomy, our strategies will minimize your production risks and maximize your economic returns. Partnering with us ensures you'll get years of farming experience and local successes to help you make solid decisions. Alliance Ag Risk Management and Southern Ag Services, 662-268-8006.
Welcome back into the Bulldog Student Sports Network. I'm Ty Goldman alongside you here in Starkville. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Mississippi State trails South Carolina 2-0. Gamecocks scored 2 in the top half of the 6th inning. A 2-out, 2 RBI. Single into right. Taylor Troutman leading off the inning for the Bulldogs, and she grounds it over to first base for out number 1. So Bulldogs playing with 5 outs now. And still going to play defense in the top of the 7th. Still got time. But again, as I said before the break, it's running thin. 1 out in the inning. Still out in the circle for South Carolina's Jory Hurd. The 0 to Morgan Bernardini catches the outer half for strike 1. Bernardini having a great game so far. Only Bulldog with multiple hits in the contest, 2 for 2 with 2 singles in her 2 plate appearances. The 0-1. Off the end of the bat, and having trouble with it is Hurd, but able to flip it over to first in time. Man, what an impressive play right there. And now quickly 2 gone in the inning for Mississippi State. So it looks like the Bulldogs will go with a pinch hitter. Again, that was a great play from Jory Hurd. Had trouble with it. Just a cue ball sent off the end of the bat. A lot of spin to it. Able to regather as it went off the tip of her glove and toss over to first in time. Bulldogs will go to the bench and look for a spark of a pinch hitter. It'll be Kinley Keller for Mississippi State. Freshman out of New Braunfels, Texas, Davenport High School. This year, .395 batting average in 37 games played now. A couple of home runs, 5 doubles. In SEC play, has played now in her 7th game. Started 2, 143 batting average. Had a home run last weekend against Georgia. The first pitch to her misses for ball 1. Home run last weekend against Georgia was part of a back-to-back home runs. That ended up giving State the lead in the win in Game 2. She sends one down the right field line. It's going to be over towards the camera. Strike 1. But it was Kiara Sells in that 6th inning that, again, Game 2 against Georgia had a solo shot to left, and then Keller followed up with another one right behind her, and State took the lead and never looked back. The 1-1. Keller sends this one into left, but just too high and into the glove of Lelio for out number 3. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. First inning that the Bulldogs had not gotten on base, and Carolina, after taking a 2-0 lead, retires Mississippi State in order. And so the Bulldogs will have to preserve the 2-run lead here and keep it where it is and work with their final 3 outs. In the bottom half of the 7th inning. So Alyssa Faircloth back out in the circle for for Mississippi State. South Carolina due up 9-1-2. Anderson, Lelio, and Shelton. As we head to the 7th. 2-0. Carolina on top of Mississippi State in game 1 of 3 between these two squads. We'll keep it right here. Again, as we head to the 7th. One more time, I'll take this time to let you know again, Think Pink game here today in Starkville. Game 1. And today's Think Pink game is presented by Baptist Memorial Hospital, Oktibbeha County, the official women's health care provider of Mississippi State Athletics. A lot of pink around the ballpark today. Makes sense. Think Pink game, pink pom-poms given out. Update on Mississippi State baseball. Heading to the bottom of the 6th in Oxford against Ole Miss. Mississippi State up now 6-0. Jacob Parker with a home run in the top half of the 6th. 2-run shot, I believe, and then Bulldogs went back-to-back as well. Garrick Fry hit a home run. And so State leads Ole Miss, trying to take the series here in Game 2 after winning last night. Heading to the bottom of the 6th inning. So good news there in Oxford. Shea Anderson will lead off here in the top of the 7th for South Carolina. They have a 2-0 lead over the home team in Mississippi State. The first pitch to Anderson. In there for a called strike 1. Oh, 1 in the dirt now. 1-1. Anderson trying to avoid the hat trick here. Struck out 2 times in the ball game so far. 1-1-2er. Misses low in the dirt, ball 2. Faircloth got to find it here. Again, it's pitched well enough to get the win, but Bulldogs just hadn't been able to score. Swing and a miss on the all-speed pitch. That was nasty, and 2-2. He's allowed 7 hits. No errors for State today. 2 earned runs. No walks. 1 hit by pitch. Didn't come back to haunt her, and 8 Ks. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Anderson unable to avoid the hat trick. Her 3rd strikeout of the ball game. And 1 down here in the top of the 7th, and the lineup will flip over to the dangerous Quincy Lelio. Lelio has reached in all 3 plate appearances today. First pitch to her misses low and in for ball 1. Single back in the 1st, hit by pitch in the 3rd, and doubled in the 5th. Didn't come around to score, but Carolina scored 2 in the 6th. Here's the 1-0. Misses low and in, now ball 2. So Lelio's average now up to .422 after coming into the ball game with a .410 batting average. And this one catches the zone now 2-1. That average in SEC play was at .318 coming in, so I'm sure that'll take a move up as well. No, I'm sure it will. Lelio trying to sneak one by State's defense, laying out a bunt, but fouls it back to the backstop. And the count now, after starting 2-0, runs to 2-2. Bulldogs will have 8, 9, and 1 due up next half inning for a chance maybe to walk off South Carolina, or at least tie the ball game and send it to extras. This one fouled away from Lelio, and count stays 2 balls and 2 strikes. See what State does with that bottom half of the order. Sure, they'll stay with Kiara Sells, but have to see what the Bulldogs will do. 2-2, swung on line drive, and Schaefer able to hop on her toes and make the grab for out number 2. That one was hit hard, and every ball that Lelio's hit today has been hard hit, and that one just finds a glove. First time she's been retired today, and now Carly Shelton will stand in. 0 for 3 in the game. First pitch to her catches the outside corner for strike 1. She's K'd twice in the ball game, flew out in the 5th. So also looking to avoid the hat trick here. 9 strikeouts for Alyssa Faircloth, 1 away from another double-digit strikeout ball game. This one misses outside, now 1-1. Again, now at 5 games with 10-plus strikeouts, so another one here would make it 6 on the season. 1-1, sent over to Schaefer. Range near left, nice play made. Throw to first to Ernstus in time for out number 3. So State retires South Carolina in order. It's the first time Carolina's not got the base runner on and been retired in order in the ball game. It happens in the top half of the 7th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. As we move to the bottom of the 7th, Bulldogs looking to tie the game or walk off South Carolina. They trail 2-0 as we head to the home half of the 7th inning. We'll stay here. I was thinking about taking a break. We'll stay here on the Bulldog Student Sports Network in Learfield on hellstate.com and the Hellstate app. Middle of the 7th. 8-9-1 due up for State again. We'll have to see how State shakes up the order in that bottom half, but you know you'll see Kiara Sells at the top half. See how State shakes that up. Again, tomorrow and Monday, and both these times in Central Time. First pitch scheduled for 6 o'clock p.m. Both will be on national television, but you can also follow along on our YouTube channel, the Bulldog Student Sports Network, as well as on hellstate.com and the Hellstate app. Some radio coverage of Mississippi State softball. Again, all times in Central, 6 o'clock tomorrow and 6 o'clock Monday for games 2 and 3. I'll be on the call with you for games 2 and 3. I should be joined by John Wesley Cochran of our Mississippi State Student Radio Network, and they'll be coming along for games 2 and 3 tomorrow and Monday. State will the pinch hitter to start the bottom of the 7th. Got to rally here and at least score 2 down to the last 3 outs. Abigail Stevens going to stand in. Stevens, .333 batting average. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Gamecock staying with Jory Hurd, who's pitched a phenomenal 3 1/3. 2 hits, giving up no earned runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. Facing her 13th Bulldog hitter. The 0-1. Stevens goes around and a check swing for strike 2. So not the start you wanted there for Stevens. Paige Ernstus in the on-deck circle for Mississippi State. 0-2 to Stevens. Misses outside ball 1. Stevens, when being in the leadoff spot this season, .333 hitter. The 1-2 to her. Swung on, fouled back to the netting, and she'll stay alive in the count moment, or for the moment. Wind blowing in again from center. It's picking up a little bit now. The balls have just gotten to the outfield and just seemingly died once they get in the air all day today. Been a couple of hard hit balls out there, but none of them got out of here. 1-2. Sent over towards the 6 hole. Anderson, backhanded play. Throw over to first in time for out number 1. Bulldogs down their final 2 outs. So Stevens in her first plate appearance grounds out to Anderson, a 6-3 put out. And Paige Ernstus going to stand in now. 0 for 1 in the game. First plate appearance flew out. And the 0-2 misses high for ball 1. That fly out, like I said, wind blowing in from center. I thought she gave a pretty good ride out there to center, but couldn't carry out of here. The 1-0. Right down the middle for strike 1. Bulldogs lineup will flip over here, hopefully with 1 out, if Ernstus can reach. Kiara Sells in the on-deck circle, 1 for 3 today. The 1-1 to Ernstus. Line foul down the right field line. Out of play. Now another 2-strike count. Hurd has done a good job of, for the most part, trying to working ahead. in her 3 2/3 innings so far. The 1-2 to Ernstus. This is low and in the dirt for ball 2 and evens a count up. Two. Swung on, sent into center, given a good ride. Inslee, though, back and makes the grab. Another sharply hit ball out to the outfield, but that wind, once it catches up in the air a little bit, just kills anything heading out there. And so Inslee able to make the grab and State down to their final out. Bulldogs have had a couple of come-from-behind wins this season. A walk-off win in the 7th, in fact, earlier in SEC play against Tennessee in Game 2, but that game was tied in the 7th. This one, Carolina has a 2-0 lead. First pitch to Kiara Sells, misses for ball 1. Swing and a miss there, strike 1. So would be Hurd in line for the win. For her, would be her 5th win of the season, would move to 5-3. The 1-1. Swung on, fouled. I think it'll get out of play, and it will. And MSU down to their final strike. Sells trying to stay alive. The 1-2. Swung on, fouled down the third baseline, and for the time being, the Bulldogs are still in it. Again, we'll be back tomorrow evening here in Starkville, 6 p.m. Central Time. First pitch, Bulldog Student Sports Network on YouTube, as well as hellstate.com and the Hell State app, as well as on Monday at 6 p.m. Central Time, first pitch. The 1-2 to Sells. Swung on, sent foul, and out of play. And so staying alive. Mississippi State. Trying to spark a rally here. The 1-2. This is low and outside and evens the count up. Deuce is on the board now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. The Bulldogs in SEC play so far haven't been able to take a game 1 yet. Unless they get a rally here, that trend will continue. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. South Carolina comes into Starkville, and in game 1, they win over Mississippi State 2-0. A sixth inning scoring from South Carolina. They scored 2 in that top half of the 6th. Scored it with 2 outs and 2 strikes. And that is the difference in this one. Again, that 2 out, 2 strike, 2 RBI single came from Alyssa Hovermail, and she was responsible for the 2 winning runs in the ball game. So Mississippi State falls in this one. Winning pitcher is going to be Jory Hurd. Losing pitcher, Alyssa Faircloth. So Mississippi State falls in game 1 to South Carolina, and will have to come back tomorrow and win to force a rubber match game 3. They've done that the entire, or both SEC series so far this season. Look to have to do it again tomorrow. Bulldogs fall 2-0 to South Carolina in game 1. With the loss, Mississippi State falls to 31-6 and 2-5 in SEC play. With the win, South Carolina moves to 22-13 and 2-5 in SEC play. Be back in just a moment for the post-game show on the Bulldog Student Sports Network in Learfield. I'm Ty Goldman, and final here, 2-0 South Carolina over Mississippi State. Back in just a moment for the post-game show. On the Bulldog Student Sports Network, this is Mississippi State Softball from the Bulldog Student Sports Network and Learfield.
Everything is just a little easier when you feel at home. At Cadence Bank, we're proud to be part of your home team, and we never stop working to give you a competitive advantage. Stop by a branch or visit us online at cadencebank.com to learn more about how we're helping opportunity take shape for our community.
There's a hit out to left field. This one is gone.
Cadence Bank, a proud sponsor of Mississippi State Athletics. Equal opportunity lender, member FDIC.
I'm Jake Mangum. A great team knows how to gel and only gets better over time. Kind of like auto insurance for Farm Bureau Insurance. Over the last 12 months, auto rates have had 2 reductions. And after February 15th, 2026, members will see another reduction of 5%. If you aren't already on the team, there's no better time to join Farm Bureau. Visit msfbins.com to find great new rates on auto insurance, or contact your local agent to get more details on how you can save. Go with the home team, go with Farm Bureau.
Ever imagine one company could transform how you live and work? With C Spire, you're connected with advanced technology that enhances everything you do. How you order your morning coffee.
Order my usual.
How you secure your company's data. Even how you turn your backyard into your personal movie theater.
Start movie night.
Own your day on the network for connected living. There's more to see. C Spire. Customer inspired.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Ah, crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
Welcome back into the Bulldog Student Sports Network, and welcome into our post-game show as your number 12 Bulldogs of Mississippi State fall to number 23 South Carolina. 2-0 in Game 1 between these two teams. Carolina takes the first of 3 with the win. Gamecocks move to 22-13, 2-5 in Southeastern Conference play, and Mississippi State with a loss falls to 30-7 and 2-5 as well in Southeastern Conference play. Final line score, South Carolina didn't score in any inning but the 6th. They scored 2 in that top half of the 6th inning. 7 hits on no errors for them, and 6 left on base for State. Did not score in the ball game. 6 hits, no errors, and 7 Lady Bulldogs left on base. Winning pitcher in the game is Emma Friedel, or rather, Jory Hurd. My apologies. Jory Hurd, the winning pitcher. 4 1/3 innings, went 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts, 15 batters faced through 57 total pitches, and she came in relief and did a really, really solid job for the Gamecocks. Emma Friedel was the starter. No decision for her. Went 2 2/3, 4 hits, no earned runs. 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, faced 13 batters through 57 total pitches. So there's South Carolina's pitching. Losing pitcher is Alyssa Faircloth of Mississippi State. Went a full 7 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, both earned in the 6th inning. No walks, 9 strikeouts, 29 batters faced through 110 pitches. So funny enough, looking at it, both teams threw exactly 110 pitches in the ballgame. So that's pretty interesting to see. Friedel and Hurd, 53 from Friedel, 57 from Hurd. That's 110, and then Faircloth threw 110. So pretty interesting right there. But losing pitcher again, Alyssa Faircloth with the loss falls to 9-3, and Jory Hurd with the win, and the winning pitcher moves to 5-3 on the season. So Faircloth 9-3, Hurd 5-3. For Mississippi State, you had a couple girls with hits today. You had 6 in total. You look down the order. Sells had a hit. Styles had a hit, Barbary had one, Rivera had one, and Morgan Bernardini had 2 for Mississippi State. That was your hitting for the Bulldogs. For South Carolina, they had 7 hits. Quincy Lilo had 2. You look at Tori Inslee had 1, Ariana Rhodey, had 1. Jamie McKay had 2, had a really good day, 2 for 2. And so did Lelio as well, 2 for 3. And rounding it out, Alyssa Hoverbell with the biggest hit of them all, a 1 for 3 day for her, but drove in the only 2 runs of the ball game and won it for South Carolina. So, for State, again, you didn't get a lot of opportunities with runners in scoring position. State, Carolina did a great job pitching. So did State. I mean, both squads pitched really, really well. Obviously, a 2-0 final score, and both defenses played well too. No errors for either defense, and just a game. It kind of feels similar to Game 1 against Tennessee. Maybe Game 3 against Tennessee too, where you just have great pitching performances. And again, from Alyssa Faircloth, a great pitching performance in Game 1, and State just can't win the game. It couldn't score. Only scored 1 in that Game 1 against Tennessee earlier in the year, but can't score 1 in this one. Had 6 hits, and we were active on the bases. One reached on a walk as well. So again, you have. It's just another thing with runners in scoring position for Mississippi State, where Bulldogs didn't have many opportunities, 0 for 3, but had a lot of opportunities with runners at first base. Combined in the game, State 2 for 15 with runners on base. So Bulldogs were able to get and a lot of leadoff hits as well. I mean, leadoff hitting was solid for both squads today. State 3 for 7 in leadoff opportunities, and South Carolina 4 for 7. But for Mississippi State, just couldn't move those runners over to first base enough, over from first base to second or third, or even bring them around to score enough, and that's why the Bulldogs didn't score a run in the ball game. So again, not as many obviously opportunities with runners in scoring position today, but you had runners on base. You had those that leadoff singles and stuff like that, and just couldn't do anything with it. So just a tough ball game for you, and especially too with Alyssa Faircloth, having such a really, really good start, and then just State can't do anything with it right there with the not being able to convert with leadoff singles, and so it's just a tough loss for Mississippi State. You pitched so well, played defense so well, had some hits, but just couldn't get them over and get them in to score. And so big reason why Mississippi State lost the ball game 2-0 to South Carolina. Going to take a short break. Be back in just a moment for more of our post-game show here on the Bulldog Student Sports Network, and then we'll wrap it up here at News Park. Final score 2-0 South Carolina over Mississippi State in Game 1. Back in just a moment for more of the post-game show here on the Bulldog Student Sports Network. I'm Ty Goldman, and you're listening to Mississippi State softball on the Bulldog Student Sports Network in Learfield.
There's team pride, and then there's extra Bulldog pride. When I'm carrying the Mississippi State University Regions Visa debit card or prepaid Regions Now card, that's exactly what I get. Whether I'm grabbing some extra state gear or picking up an extra dozen wings for the game, this card always brings it. Sometimes I get an extra Hail State from the cashier too. Visit Regions.com/Go State to get yours.
Extra changes everything. And at Regions, Extra is our ordinary. Official bank of the SEC, member FDIC.
Hey fans, I know you'd do anything for a win on game day and an ice-cold Bud Light. Because whether you're tailgating in the parking lot or parked on the couch, sitting on your lucky stool at the bar, or standing in the fan section all game long, the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light turns a win into a win-win. And there's nothing easier to enjoy than that. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Southern Ag Services and Alliance Ag Risk Management have deep roots in the farming communities of Mississippi and the Mid-South. Using crop insurance and research-based agronomy, our strategies will minimize your production risks and maximize your economic returns. Partnering with us ensures you'll get years of farming experience and local successes to help you make solid decisions. Alliance Agri-Risk Management, and Southern Ag Services. 662-268-8006.
Ever imagine one company could transform how you live and work? With C-Spire, you're connected with advanced technology that enhances everything you do. How you order your morning coffee.
Order my usual.
How you secure your company's data. Even how you implement AI to increase productivity.
And next quarter is looking even better.
Giving you the confidence and control to accelerate business growth. There's more to see. C-Spire. Customer inspired.
Welcome back to the Bulldog Student Sports Network and our post-game show here. I'm Tad Gilbert alongside you in the press box at News Park. Bulldogs fall in Game 1 to South Carolina 2-0. Impressive pitching from both, all three pitchers today, Emma Friedel and Jory Hurd for South Carolina and Alyssa Faircloth for Mississippi State. But only one could get the win, and that was Jory Hurd. Alyssa Faircloth with the loss, even after only allowing 2 runs in the game. Allowed 7 hits, but most of those didn't come back to hurt her. And 9 strikeouts in the ball game, but unable to get the win. Bulldogs with leadoff hits all throughout the ball game, but just unable to advance runners when they had the opportunity. And so just a tough loss for Mississippi State. Bulldogs, again, were 2 for 15 with runners on base today. A couple of times where Mississippi State popped up with some sacrifice bunt attempts, and so Mississippi State unable to get on the board today, and they fall 2-0 to South Carolina and set up a Game 2 tomorrow. Mississippi State must win to force a rubber match Game 3 on Monday. Look at some scores around the conference. Go through what happened yesterday. You had Ole Miss with the upset win over number 4 Tennessee 2-1. Georgia with a dominant 10-2 win over Kentucky yesterday. Missouri with a 3-0 win over Auburn. Florida fell to Arkansas in Fayetteville, a top 10 matchup there between the Hogs and the Gators, and Arkansas won 6-2. Alabama taking a break of SEC play this weekend and hosting North Dakota State. The number 7 Crimson Tide with an 8-1 win over North Dakota State last night. And you had top 15 matchup in Austin, Texas and Texas A&M. Texas with a 9-8 thriller win in 7. They walk off the Aggies in the bottom half of the 7th inning and win Game 1. And in Oklahoma with a 3-2 win over LSU in extras. Tigers tied it up in the bottom of the 7th inning, but 1 run was enough for Oklahoma in the top of the 8th, and Oklahoma won Game 1 last night in Baton Rouge. So you look at today, and Missouri and Auburn live right now, going to the bottom of the 7th. Missouri up 6-3 on Auburn, so the win would take the series. Florida and Arkansas still set to play. They're going to play at 7 p.m. Central Time later over in Fayetteville, Arkansas. And then for the rest of it, we've got some finals from today. Go back to that Oklahoma-LSU series. Tigers able to draw even with the series. 3-1 win over Oklahoma hands the Sooners their 3rd loss of the season. Sooners and Patty Gasso, number 3 in the country, and so a big win for the Fighting Tigers in Baton Rouge, and a rubber match set for tomorrow. Alabama with a 13-0 run rule of North Dakota State. They win the series. Look for the sweep tomorrow. Ole Miss wins the series over number 4 Tennessee in Knoxville. 2-1 victory for the Rebels. Man, what an impressive series win for Ole Miss. 23-14, the record now, not as good as not at least as of now, not as good as they were last year. Made it to the Women's College World Series last year. A big win for them. And they take the series and go for the sweep tomorrow against number 4 Tennessee. Only the 5th loss of the year for Tennessee. And for them, that's their 2nd straight SEC series loss. Lost to Florida last weekend, and dropped 1 to Mississippi State earlier in the year, but have lost now 2 straight SEC series. One on the road at Florida last week, and then to Ole Miss at home this week. And so Rebels will go for the sweep tomorrow in Knoxville. Texas with the series win over Texas A&M, 3-2 victory earlier today in Austin. So Texas looking for the sweep, number 1 in the country. They're 31-1. So hey, pretty tough to beat. And A&M comes just 1 run shy in both games, game 1 and game 2, but just couldn't come up with the victory. And then finally, you look at Georgia, an 11-1 run rule of Kentucky. And so Georgia takes the series, and they look for the sweep tomorrow. Bulldogs with a win in their first series last week, their first series win last weekend against Mississippi State, and then now back-to-back series victories. Now this one over Kentucky, and then finally, obviously, you get South Carolina defeating your Bulldogs of Mississippi State, 2-0 here in Starkville. Looking at, I got it on my phone right now, bottom half of the 7th inning for Mississippi State baseball in Oxford against Ole Miss. Bulldogs are up 6-1 right now. My apologies, 6-1. 2 outs in the bottom half of the 7th inning, and a runner on first base. So State looking to get out of that. Maddox Miller on the mound for Mississippi State, so looking to get out of that. You look at last night for Mississippi State in athletics. You had the Bulldogs won 5-4 over Ole Miss last night in baseball. They'll take game 1, so trying to take the series here against Ole Miss today, and maybe go for a sweep tomorrow. And then you look at women's tennis earlier, or rather men's tennis yesterday as well, defeated Ole Miss 6-1. So number 6 Bulldogs rolling, continue to roll, and so men's tennis won yesterday 6-1, and then women's tennis fell. Got swept by Auburn earlier. That was on, trying to think in my head, that was on Thursday. So Auburn sweeps Mississippi State in women's tennis, and so there's kind of your athletics update. This is so far as to what has happened this weekend in Mississippi State athletics. So again, if you're if right now, if you want to head out, I appreciate you for at least being in right now. If you want to head out, go watch or go listen to Neil Price on the HailState.com or on HailState.com, the Hail State app, and then listen to the finale of Mississippi State and Ole Miss in Game 2. Hopefully the Bulldogs can get the series win there and maybe go for the sweep tomorrow. But bottom of the 7th again, two outs and 0-2 count. Now 2 runners on, and I'll look at this pitch, see what happens. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and so State able to get out of the inning, and that one will head the top half of the 8th inning. The Bulldogs still with a 6-1 lead over Ole Miss. So if you want to go listen to that on the HailState.com and Hail State app and listen to Neil Price, you can, as Mississippi State trying to take the series against Ole Miss. But that's going to do it here for me at News Park. 2-0 loss for Mississippi State here in Game 1 to South Carolina. Again, tomorrow and Sunday, both first pitch is scheduled for 6 p.m. Central Time. So and we'll have those for you on YouTube on our YouTube channel, Bulldog Student Sports Network, and on HailState.com and the Hail State app as well. And you can get those HailState.com and Hail State app links from Hail State softball on X and maybe on Instagram. I'm not sure if they posted on Instagram too, but I know for sure you can get that on X, and you can click and you'd be right in and listen to us on HailState.com. And then also too, if you can subscribe to us on our YouTube channel on the Bulldog Student Sports Network and click that notification bell. You get an instant notification when we go live tomorrow at 5:45 for Central Time for pregame for Game 2 between State and South Carolina. And we'll have that one for you tomorrow, and then the 6 o'clock game on Monday as well. And you can subscribe to us on YouTube and see that, and also follow us on X at BSSN_MSU, and on Instagram at Bulldog Student Sports Network. Again, our final score in Starkville, South Carolina 2, Mississippi State 0. Bulldogs fall in Game 1 for the 3rd straight SEC series and look to even the series up tomorrow and force a rubber match in Game 3 on Monday. Pleasure broadcasting to you today here on the Bulldog Student Sports Network in Learfield. I'm Ty Goldman signing off. Everybody take care. Have a great rest of your Saturday afternoon, and Hail State.
From Learfield, you've been listening to Mississippi State Softball on the Bulldog Sports Network. Mississippi State Softball has been sponsored by C Spire, customer inspired. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation of the Bulldog Sports